Syracuse women's lacrosse has cemented their spot as not only the best team on the Hill, but the second best in the nation. Welcome into sports. I'm Ashley Wenskoski. Kayla Trainer's squad remained undefeated yesterday afternoon, taking care of Virginia Tech with ease. The Orange look to translate this momentum into their third straight non-conference win this Saturday against Hobart. Face-off is scheduled for 1 p.m. Inside the JMA Wireless Dome, I'm Ashley Wenskoski, Citrus TV. Syracuse football head coach Dino Babers reflected on the program's latest stars heading to the NFL. Syracuse basketball falls to number 6 Virginia 67-62 inside the JMA Wireless Dome, and it's more of the same for this team that just can't seem to close out a win recently. So I want to get the first thoughts from you guys. Ian, we'll go with you first. What are your takeaways from this loss for the Orange?
Yeah, Luke, we did see the Orange make some defensive adjustments here in the second half. We even saw them take out goalie Will Mark, who started nearly every minute of the season so far, in place of Harrison Thompson, who was the starter last year. He played the last couple minutes of the game here, probably just to give Mark a rest. You know, he hasn't had much of a break here all season long.
40-degree April weather here in Syracuse can't stop a scorching hot Brett Beatty.
Emma, you guys are perfect record-wise through this season. Walk me through your offensive approach as you continue to face those ranked opponents, including Clemson, next week.
Well, Tegan, this is a Boston College team that Syracuse is very familiar with. Head coach Kayla Trainer spent 4 years on the Eagles staff as an assistant coach between 2018 and 2021. And in her 4 years there, the Eagles went to the NCAA championship 3 times.
Number 1 Syracuse women's lacrosse absolutely dominates the Cavaliers inside the JMA Wireless Dome tonight. 21-9 win for the Orange, and they stay perfect. They are without a loss this season, a 13-0 record. Welcome back inside our Newhouse studios for your Cuse.com post-game show.
Well, Jacob, I think if the Orange are going to pull off an upset against Duke, it's really going to be up to Jesse Edwards as well as Joe Girard. They just really cannot afford Girard to be, he's so streaky, so hot and so cold, and they really need him to be on. Jack, this team's had no problem with anyone to start the season, that 5-0 record, and they certainly didn't have a problem with UAlbany earlier this week.
And over on the baseball diamond, tonight marks a weekly holiday down in Queens. And what holiday happens weekly, you might ask? Well, that would be DeGrom Day. The Mets ace will take the mound tonight as they look to right the ship following last night's 5-2 loss against the Chicago Cubs.
Up next for the Orange, things don't get any easier. They'll welcome number 19 North Carolina to the JMA Wireless Dome next Sunday. Face-off is scheduled for 3 p.m. From College Park, I'm Ashley Wenskoski, Citrus TV. NFL Sundays can be a cause for divide among families, friend groups, and co-workers here in CNY. After all, we've got 3 different New York teams to pick from. But week 4 of the NFL season gave us a rare gift. There's something for everyone to celebrate tonight. Let's start with our Buffalo Bills, who took it down to the wire in Baltimore. The Bills got off to a slow start in their AFC showdown against the Ravens. Josh Allen and the Buffalo offense not able to get rolling through the first 2 quarters, but here's where they start the roll. Just seconds to halftime, Allen finds Isaiah McKenzie to cut it to 20-10 Baltimore. Late in the third, the Bills within a touchdown, and Josh Allen fakes the handoff, decides he's taking it to the house himself. 11 yards to tie it up for Buffalo, and all of a sudden, we have ourselves a game here, folks. Tied up late in the fourth, Lamar Jackson scrambling. He's looking for his man, and Jordan Poyer says, "I'm your man." Takes what was meant for Devin Duvernay. The Ravens lose all their momentum as the clock runs out. Tyler Bass kicks it in for a 21-yard field goal, and just like that, the Bills pull off their biggest comeback in over a decade, escaping with a final 23-20. They're 3-1, handing the Ravens their 5th straight loss at home. Moving over to the only team that played at home this weekend, Daniel Jones guiding the Giants ship down in East Rutherford. And if we're playing follow the leader, follow that guy. Danny dimes for 21 yards into the end zone, putting the Giants ahead in the first here. As the second quarter winds down, look who it is again. Mr. Do-It-All himself does just that, running it in to make it 14-6 Big Blue. But that strategy finally comes back to bite him, quite literally in this case, as he would come down hard on his left ankle and would not throw a pass the rest of the game. You can see that again here, just absolutely comes down hard on that ankle, but the Giants are unfazed. Matt Breida takes it up the middle for the first down, but the big story out of this one was that Daniel Jones' apparent left ankle injury, followed by his replacement, Tyrod Taylor, suffering a concussion, and Jones came back in the game to relieve him in the fourth quarter. The extent of Jones' ankle injury is still unknown, but the G-men pull this one out 20-12 over the Bears. And back over to the land of the orange, life is good for Dino Babers' squad coming out of Week 5. Syracuse football dominated FCS opponent Wagner yesterday to keep their undefeated record intact and do something we haven't seen them do in 35 years. That's right, Syracuse is off to their first 5-0 start since 1987, in large part to a bounce-back night for Sean Tucker, who ran for a career-high 232 yards and 3 touchdowns. And what could be better than that? Well, today, the Orange were ranked in the AP poll for the first time since 2019, coming in at number 22 in the country. They're sitting pretty heading into their bye week this week. But head coach Dino Babers is anything but surprised about his team's hot start.
Garrett came in and worked extremely hard. He worked with, his trainer in the offseason. He worked with Coach Beck. He worked with Coach Anai. He worked with our receivers. And if you just watch all the stuff they did over the summertime, you felt like they were working cohesively enough that they might have a day like this.
Looking ahead to Week 7, the Orange will welcome ACC rival NC State into the JMA Wireless Dome on October 15th. And with the way things are going, this could be the first matchup between two ranked teams in the Dome in 21 years. Over on the pitch, number 3, Syracuse men's soccer has not lost a game all season, and they look to defend that streak today against Virginia. It was the battle of the goalies all game long as Russell Shealy for the Orange and Holden Brown for the Cavaliers were going toe-to-toe. They'd finished with 3 saves apiece. Those two were airtight through nearly 85 minutes of play until Cavs captain Leo Alfonso finds the top left corner of the net to give Virginia a 1-0 lead. That was just the 3rd goal the Orange have given up all season, but 1 goal was all the Cavs would need, knocking the Orange off their win streak. The Houston Astros take on the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 2 of the World Series. Former Met Zach Wheeler on the mound. He gets into trouble early. Jeremy Pena smacks one down the left field line to double. That'll score Jose Altuve, and the Astros would add on 2 more in the first, making it a 3-0 ball game. Bottom 5, Wheeler's still in, but you know what's out? That ball Alex Bregman just hit, 405 feet to left center. That's his 3rd home run this postseason. There goes the quality start for Wheeler. Top 8, 2 on, 2 out for the big man, Bryce Harper, but he skies this one to shallow right. Who's going to find it? Jeremy Pena's got it. The Phils waste their last chance. 5-2 Astros would be the final from Houston, and the series returns to Philadelphia after a travel day tomorrow, all tied up at 1. The sound of pins falling is one that is very familiar to Julia and Jenna's speech, and for the 2 Baldwinsville seniors, all of the pins for their future are finally falling into place. Last month, the twins committed to compete together at the University of Central Missouri, but not before they finished their legacy at Beeville, where they led the girls' team to 4th place in the state tournament last year. Head coach Gary Peterson says the 2-year co-captains lead their teammates by example.
Well, they're just great competitors. They're solid and they're consistent every week and very knowledgeable and very skilled. So they lead by example with this team.
The twins continue the bowling legacy of their grandparents, Don and Frida Gates. The first husband and wife team to be inducted into the Greater Syracuse Sports Hall of Fame were instrumental in sparking the girls' love for the game.
They brought us down to the bowling alley almost every day, bought us our first T-zone plastic ball, and taught us the 4-step approach, and it evolved from there.
Gregory and Rosemarie's speech recognized their daughter's skills and got them started right away.
We put them in a league when they were about fourth grade, and at first they were kind of not too sure if they enjoyed it, but it was only about a year after that that they realized that they really enjoyed bowling.
The girls began competing for the Bees varsity team when they were in just 8th grade. They say that the special part of the sport for them are the relationships that they've built.
I do and don't feel the obligation to carry on our family's tradition, but also the relationships that we've created with adults, kids our age is amazing, and I would not trade that for the world, and I don't see that happening if I play any other sport.
The two certainly have talent to spare. In 2022, Jenna was the Section 3 Class A girls champion.
Exactly.
The year before that, well, you guessed it, it was Julia. They'll become Jennies at UCM together next year, a transition that their mother knows they're ready for.
At times I think they're going to be at each other, but they're really a good support for each other as well, and I think they're going to be great roommates and great teammates.
While the twins are excited for their future at UCM, first things first, bringing a state title home to Central New York. In Baldwinsville, I'm Ashley Wenskoski.